I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these dudes' throats.
Why don't we go quick, because I don't give a fuck about anything that's gonna happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! We are back with the MMA Analysis podcast. We are right near St. Patrick's Day. We need a little luck of the Irish because our consensus bets so far this year have not been the pot of gold. We are not receiving the gold.
Hey.
Wes, I know. As a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, I'm hoping maybe if we keep saying the Irish, maybe we'll get a little luck this week as the UFC heads over to the neighbors of the Irish down in England.
Yeah.
Wes, we're back this week. We got the usual suspects, and we got Bradford back again this week. 2 Canadians again.
He's back, baby. He
might
back.
be back. He might be back.
I might be back.
Might be back.
It's going to just be the usual suspects again. It's not going to be the usual suspects and me. It's just included in there.
Yeah.
Brad's in the last scene straightening that foot up. Just slowly but surely straightening that foot up.
At least everybody can fit their forearms into the floor right here. I don't need to worry about that.
A lot more hair on the show too, ain't there?
That's not saying much. Yeah.
Oh.
Dushan, what's going on up there?
Oh, just getting enlightened on Twitter by touts that can't make any money but will give you medical advice to fighters. It's it's a joy. It's a joy of Twitter.
Is that like?
I don't understand a lot about the U.S. medical system, but isn't that how it works?
I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get as a Twitter doctor.
There you go.
There's probably apps out there now that give you better medical diagnosis than actual doctors down in this country.
Certainly better than Twitter doctors, for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't there? Is that better advice than telling a kickboxer that he should kick people?
Got to watch the kicks. Got to check it.
Got to watch the leg check kicks.
No.
Side leg check kick like James Toney. Oh man, I still couldn't. I'm so glad I was there for that moment in life. Just be like, Chris, you know he's gonna come after you with the leg kicks, man. Are you ready for those? I hope you prepared. I can't believe that is an actual thing that happened, and
self-awareness
in the presence of greatness at that moment.
Just zero self-awareness there.
Whew.
It happened. It happened.
Good times. Good times. I'll be back down in those stomping grounds in a week. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
You're gonna watch.
You should have gone down
tournament
early.
Down there?
There's, I was gonna say there was the SEC tournament there today, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's probably way too many rednecks running around down there right now for me. So,
What are you gonna do if Kentucky is playing their second round game when this event's going on?
What I'm praying for is we're playing Thursday and Sunday.
That's Friday and Sunday.
Or Friday and Sunday, yeah. That's what I'm absolutely praying for. Knowing my luck, we'll be playing Saturday night, and I hope I get my phone to come in because I'll be streaming it.
Are you phoneless right now?
No, my internet or my 4G or what the fuck ever literally never works anywhere. I got Sprint.
So
anytime I go anywhere that's got more than like 500 people, my phone literally does not work.
Sprint is terrible.
Terrible.
Oh.
But Wes, don't worry, because if you're playing Saturday night, it's a London card. Some Saturday afternoon stuff. It's perfect.
Oh, when he's in Nashville.
No, this is next week.
Next weekend when he's in Nashville.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't care as much this week. He cares more next week, for sure.
I hardly know what's going on this card. Never mind next week.
Got to ease into this, Brad.
It's been a busy week. Somebody want to tell me what's going on in MMA? Tony Ferguson has like some sort of issue. McNutty got arrested again, right?
Never a dull moment.
Like when you know you're in trouble when you're the new John Jones. Like, you know your shit has gone off the rails when you're the John Jones of the fucking MMA world, dude.
I mean, is there a less surprising thing than McNutty breaking someone's phone outside the Fountain Blue at 5 a.m.?
Can we talk about the coincidence of McNutty taking this, the Cookie Monster himself, taking this dude's his phone, smashing it, and suddenly Instagram goes down. McNutty has the power to break Instagram.
Fuck, Facebook was even down for a bit there too. He's a powerful being.
A man. What a man.
But will McNutty pay American educators to get his little boy into a nice private college?
He's got the money.
He's not going to go to Trinity College or whatever in Dublin.
I think McNutty was on the Michael Bisping route until he started breaking all the law over here. Like, McNutty was going to be living here eventually, but right. I'm not so sure anymore. Like, this dude's just, man, he's out of control. I mean, in all seriousness,
he just thinks he's above the law. That's really
he's got some problems. No, he's literally got some problems. That dude's got drug problems. I mean, I've just seen it way too many times. That guy's got a drug problem.
He doesn't have like the Tony level problems. Like that's not even stuff that I'll joke about. But he's. I think we need to build the wall around Ireland, not Mexico. I'm just saying.
Brexit those fools.
Can we just raise Hadrian's Wall like another 30 feet? Brad appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do with McNutty this time. I mean, I know he's got the money and the lawyers and all that.
This is kind of a nothing, Wes. Like, I mean, honestly,
no, I mean you're
like give him $5,000 and like move on.
You're getting it, but he literally just had all that other shit happen.
He got finished with probation.
Exactly. Where it wasn't like a bunch of speed things. It's like violent shit. Like, it's destroying people's property. Eventually, one of these judges are going to be in a bad mood one morning and they're going to be like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna show this motherfucker something. Who knows? Probably won't be this time. I'm not saying it is.
It's going to be in summertime, Wes.
Eventually.
It's going to be summertime because Connor's going to show up with a little too much of a tan to the court. That's when he's
can't understand them,
trouble.
so they don't know. Speaking English.
If McNutty looked more like fucking Jorge Masvidal does right now, I'm telling you, he's doing 5 to 10 over this shit. Guaranteed. Guarantee it. Show up brown with a fucking beard and hair like that, dude. You're gonna shit. Yeah, that Tony stuff though, man.
I don't know what's going on there.
Well, a lot of people I don't even think read it. Like it wasn't like domestic violence. It sounds like he's off the wall, man. Like he's got some serious problems.
I mean, is that a surprise at all? I mean, this is a guy that does like leg kicks against like a metal beam and like likes to feel pain.
He's been weird. He's been weird, man. And then you get hit in the head for a decade. That shit happens, man.
Hey, not everybody has the Iceman Wim Hof in their corner helping them with the anti-aging techniques. That stuff's not for the body, man. It's for the brain. It keeps your brain young and healthy.
I mean,
Vitor Belfort, son.
You see how guys like your boy Seau and shit, man, like years after CTE and stuff like that, man, you just never know, dude. You really never know how guys are going to act. It almost sounded like he was off some shit, too, though, to me. Like, that shit was like some angel dust type shit going on.
You got CTE, and then you throw in Eddie Bravo into the mix. It's just a bad combination.
Flat earther, baby.
Eddie's over there lacing his joints and shit with fucking PCP and shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but serious, and yeah, that's just bad stuff, dude.
The obligatory lacrosse tie-in for the week.
Here we go.
Waiting for that.
You guys were talking about Seau, his son, Jake Seau, 4th leading scorer for the Duke Blue Devils right now. Having the best year of his career.
Damn.
How's
Jay,
Duke doing this year? Is Duke hot or not?
Yeah, they're ranked number 2 in the country right now.
They not? It's like Connecticut women's basketball.
They're the richest of the Caucasians. Of course, they're going to be. Duke have a black dude? Was it last year, Brad? Or,
he was a freshman last year. He's
like one of the best players. Yeah.
Yeah, he scored like 8 goals in the tourney. Had a real good tourney, and he was injured at the start of this year, but coming back now. We'll see.
Who was the cat that was it? The kid that played for Syracuse or something that like broke the scoring record or something just a couple years ago?
Oh, Lyle Thompson. Yeah, native or indigenous, depending on the terminology you want to use.
Yeah. Where did he play at? Was it Syracuse?
He was at Albany.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember. Yep.
But I'm sure that listeners probably don't want to hear about too much lacrosse. We'll
limit sport as it is, and then talking about fucking lacrosse.
We'll limit it to like 1 or 2 references.
We get like bad messages when we talk about basketball on here. Like fuck the lacrosse guys.
Wes, you gotta be happy with the finish of last week's card. You finally got some retribution.
I was just gonna be like done. If it went the other way, I was gonna be
especially after he did that little like duck away thing. Oh
man, hey dude, I tell you what, I probably like shit a little bit when that happened, like straight up.
Having Scott Smith flashbacks.
Dude, that was some wild stuff. Hey, we'll talk about that. I'm gonna give Derrick Lewis some serious props though, man. Because
why?
Because he fucking fought on a fucking blown out knee, like a shredded ACL, MCL, the whole fucking thing, man. His coaches were begging him to pull out of that fight, and that dude still fought. So, I mean, massive props, and I mean, he got JDS with 1 or 2 shots that were like, oh shit, and then that duck away, like. Yeah, I mean, props to that fat sack of shit. He showed up
with all due respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I said
it almost makes up for the Haganu fight.
Nah, but that was fun though.
You run that fight back 10 times out of 10 times and he gets knocked the fuck out right now.
Yep.
I don't know what something was. I more think that Hogg wasn't like off after a loss. I think he was saying "fuck you" to Dana in that fight.
That's dosed. What I think. He got dosed before the fight. He was sedated.
Or was that? Or somebody slipped his ass and
some shit straight out of Oz.
Yeah, very O'Reilly brother-esque.
Oh man,
what show is giving you Oz references like that? Get the fuck out of here.
One of the best TV shows of all time, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pour one out for Luke Perry, brother Oz alumnus.
Who wasn't on that show?
Anyone who was anybody was on that show.
Like any like NBC network show now is like littered with those people because it was like the same writers. So like all your Law and Orders, SVUs, all those fucking shows on NBC are the same writers from that. So like all those guys. Beecher, fucking Molly, all of them.
Merlone.
They're all on those
Riley.
shows.
Yep. What's his name? Brother Wong or whatever. Not brother. Whatever his name was. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the preacher.
The priest.
2 white brothers. What's his fucking the dumb one? Yeah, the O'Reilly.
Cyril O'Reilly.
Serial, yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly, yeah.
The other dude's like State Farm guy now and shit. Like,
yeah, he's doing well for himself.
And MMA tie-in, Chucky Zito.
Yeah,
super fan.
Yep.
And the other were on the wire, so that was fun too. You had, Russell Westbrook and all the other guys. Yeah, it was fun.
So should we go over this card? It was a bit of a rough undercard, that's for sure.
Yeah, let's go real quick.
Alex White decision, Dan Moret. Like Alex White had a pretty nasty cut and then kind of came back and easily won. Told you guys about Zach Otto being a complete mook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Otto destroyed him. One thing that surprised us was Louis Smolka just getting completely dominated by Matt Schnell. Man, that was tough to watch. To our friend of the show.
Yep.
Track star Maurice Green beat Jeff Hughes. He's 2-0 in the UFC.
Smoke another pack for me, Maurice. Smoke another pack for me.
Grant Dawson, 30-27, Julian Rosa. Well, it was a 29-27, a 30-26. Rosa got, actually landed some shots here, and Dawson had a couple mookie moments, but overall, Dawson was able to take him down all the time. I know Wes was upset because with his DraftKings plays, they said Dawson only had 6 takedowns. I don't know where they came up with that number.
He had that the first round.
That's what I said. I was like, wasn't it at least 6 in the first round alone? I don't know how they decide what a takedown is.
What are the I'm going to look up the actual stats there.
Yeah, I think they said 6 total. Yeah, Kunitskaya broke her nose. Beat Marion Renault anyway, tripled up on the strikes. And then the consensus loss, Sergio Moraes just didn't know how to throw strikes against Tony Martin. It was weird. I don't know if anyone wants to give any comments on these fights.
Moraes, as soon as he got that fight to the ground, you could see his ground game was so much better. It's just
he did it every round.
He just didn't push it enough. He needed to
20 more seconds at the end of the first, and that shit
he's
choked out.
It's just tough.
He's choked out.
He just got too happy brawling and trying to throw that overhand right, and then not switching it up and trying different ways to get the takedown. It was a bit frustrating to watch because I think he definitely could have got him or at least eked out a couple of the rounds if he would able to get those takedowns early.
Yeah, and what's so bad is I don't think Tony. His name's fucking Tony.
Fucking Tony.
He didn't even hit him with anything big to make him respect not going for those takedowns and stuff is what I didn't understand. He was way too passive, not trying to get inside, man. Moraes is usually a lot more aggressive than that. I didn't understand it whatsoever. And yeah, like you said, the one instant he got it to the mat, I mean, it was seconds. He was on the back and had a choke in, and then the bell was off. So yeah, man. One other fight, man, Matt Schnell, dude. That was fucking impressive, dude, against a really good dude on the mat. I think Matt Schnell's another one of those guys. He might be a little undersized at 135, but it seems like he's just a little better moving up there. I don't know what it is. Some guys move up a little bit and they perform better, but
he looked confident in there. Everything had a purpose, and he just did it. And
it's the best fight he's ever had. No doubt about it. That's the best fight Matt Schnell's ever put out.
Definitely a brain fart on Smolka for putting himself in the triangle right after he got out of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right about that. Dude gets it out and then literally goes right into the triangle. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Main card. Omari Akhmedov beat up Tim Boesch, and I gotta say, I think I've underrated Akhmedov. It seems like he's adjusted well to middleweight. I don't think there's any denying that.
Magma.
Well, could be a little magma. Could be a little magma. Next fight I'd definitely like to talk about. Beneil Dariush and Drew Dober. Man, Dariush was on some skates for 2 or 3 times in this bout, but as soon as it went to the ground, it was a completely different fight. Brad, let's start with you.
Yeah, Tim Boesch, we said that he's done, just like...
Bosh.
Yeah. Tim Boesch.
Yeah, Tim
Boesch. We saw it earlier in the card, even. Zach Otto got beat down and then came back out again and got beat down again and just showed absolutely nothing, got all busted up in the fight. And Chinny Dariush, there's going to be a moment. Hopefully it'll be against Alex Hernandez or some newcomer again where you can get a nice juicy line on it. But there's definitely going to be a moment in the future where Chinny Dariush shows up.
Mm.
Yeah, I was kind of the same thoughts there. And I actually thought, I had a small bet on Darius in a parlay with JDS, but I was a little worried even in this fight, man. Dober
puckered. He was skating in that first round.
And I was liking Dober most of the week, and then we did the show, and I kind of switched, then played him really small, and then the whole time I'm like, God damn it, I can't believe I let them, change my mind. You get to talking, with people, respect their opinion, you kind of get your mind changed a little. But man, that sub was fucking slick as hell. Like, that dude's still just incredible on the ground. One of the best in the game, but yeah, he's going to get knocked out. It's coming again. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you would hope that this is a light bulb going off in Darius's head that he cannot stand with people. Like, I understand you gotta stand a bit to get your spots, but he has got to get fights to the floor because that chin is an absolute liability. And with how good his sub game is, he's just got to get it to the floor.
And
anyone else reading it?
It's not even like power. No power.
Yeah. Anyone else reading Lance getting into it with Twitter nerds?
Oh, jeez.
No shit.
I might have to take a look.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the fucking
Warley Alves is fighting Alberto Mina. Okay, that's fun.
Oh, Bilal Muhammad is fighting Curtis Millender.
And
oh boy,
what was the other one? Howboy. Who's Howboy fighting?
Howboy's fighting Jangalang.
Howboy.
Oh,
there you go.
Shit, he's so weak.
Oh,
take the pants off.
I don't know if I like that. Oh, no. Oh boy, yeah.
Don't meet him in real life, Lance. You wouldn't call him a nerd in real life. This dude's on a keyboard saying, "Don't meet me in real life." You wouldn't call me a nerd.
Twitter nerds.
Please don't meet me in real life.
Lance is literally down at Disney World, fucking playing with dudes on Twitter,
just trolling these fucking nerds.
He's in the happiest place on earth doing what he's
that dude's riding around that little stupid boat. It's a small world after all. And just like tweeting at people laughing.
It's fucking great.
These guys take shit way too seriously.
Wagoy Ivanov, the man who was stabbed 17 times, beat up a man who's been out of MMA for 3 years, Ben Rothwell. Who's surprised? No one's surprised.
I don't know. I didn't watch this fight, but all I heard was it was not. It was a very sketchy decision. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it's a poor fight to begin with.
I bet Ivanov, so I'm definitely a little biased, but he was landing better stuff, but he was getting walked down the entire time. And I believe it was the second round was like really, really close that I could see somebody arguing it for Rothwell. I don't get like the crazy, it was a robbery, but like I said,
it was just a close decision, I think.
It could have easily been a split decision and nobody would have been surprised.
If it would have went to Rothwell, I wouldn't have been. Myself personally, if I was a judge, close fights like that, and you're not even supposed to, I don't know, it's just habit from years back. I score close rounds for guys that's coming forward. Like, even if they're getting countered and shit, to me, it just, if you're pressing the action, to me, that's a guy winning a close round. That's the argument people were giving to Rothwell, which I can't argue that, but I bet Ivanov, so, of course I had that close round for him.
Brad, what did you think about that fight?
Obviously, Ivanov threw a couple Bulgarian levs the way of the judges, but this was a crap fight, and two fat guys being fat.
On the flip side, though, the next fight was not a crap fight. Nico Price and Tim Means, man, this was an all timer for a one rounder. I have to say, this. Yep. Had a little bit of everything. Wes?
Yeah, dude, that was incredible. That probably saved a lot of a shitty card. Up to that point, it was pretty bad. Especially after that Ivanov Rothwell fight. Holy shit, that was really bad. But, man, I don't know, man, what Tim Means was doing, really, because he came in there just slinging bungalows at the end and got caught with just some hellacious shot, man. I bet Nico Price in this fight, so I fucking lost it. I was fucking up running around screaming, not just because of the finish, but, of course, because I had money on it. I think around plus 175, plus 180, something like that. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. I think I said it last week. Means is just getting kind of old, shop worn, man. He's still really good. I think he had really good spots in this fight. I think he's probably a better striker than Nico Price is. But man, I don't know what he was thinking there at the end because he went apeshit and got caught.
New Sean.
Yeah, I had Means, so I was doing the opposite. Luckily, I didn't watch this live, so I already kind of was over the disappointment. But yeah, this was just a back-and-forth fight. Means got hurt first, then he cracked Price and looked like he was just going to swarm him and maybe try to finish it right before the end of the round, and just gets caught with an absolute perfect shot right on the chin and destroys his ankle, leg, whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, man, that was bad.
Nasty.
Ooh, yeah.
Nasty way to fall.
Brad, what did you think of this one?
I mean, this didn't exactly go to script, but Nico Price is the ultimate lose until you win kind of guy. Like he got the first shot here, but save for that shot, he was again losing a fight and just figured out a way to pull it out. So you can't pick Nico Price in a fight and be like, he's better than his opponent at this, this, and this, because he's not really better at anything. He just loses and then figures out a way. It's crazy.
Yep.
What should have been our consensus bet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Tim Means is a much better offensive fighter than he is defensive, and his defensive holes, as he gets older and his durability isn't as strong, that will do it.
Hey, if he had better defense, he wouldn't have spent all those years in prison. Hey, yo.
Co-main event. The fade plant.
Yep.
Was fadeable.
Man,
yes, sir. It
Yeah.
grew. Cornstalk City.
Did we all bet this personally?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big.
Okay.
Big, yeah.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Yeah. That we didn't. That was not the consensus. It should have been.
We got greedy. Lesson to listeners.
Plus money.
We got greedy. We saw the big number, and we let it get the best of us, and we made the greedy play instead of the smart play.
We even said on the show last week how much we all love this dude, so hopefully that helped.
Hollywood actress Elijah Dushku beat up Fade Plant.
Quick work.
Curtis Mellon there. Easy work. It's like, why strike? I'll just take him to the ground and submit him because he has he can't do anything on the ground. It was an excellent game plan and it worked, right, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I think we all said. We all had this fight pretty much broken down to a T. I know you could argue that Elijah Dushku was more, likes to stand up and strike mostly now, but even just the slightest of fight IQ here, he knew what he had to do, and I was happy as hell that he did it because hell, I think anybody knew that Millender just can't stop a takedown, man, and he's really, really bad on the mat. Actually, kind of shockingly bad on the mat at this stage of his career. And yeah, this should have been our consensus. I had a massive bet. This is one of my biggest bets on the entire card. I had him at even money. I believe a little bit at plus 105 as well. So, this dude's good too, man. Elijah Dushku is a problem at 170 for some people, man. He's a tough out.
Lucian, what are your thoughts here?
Just pissed that I didn't bet it more. This is exactly kind of what I thought was going to happen. Also pissed that I didn't throw a dart at wins by submission. It closed plus 700.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it was like plus 750 for a while. It opened like plus 840. Like, Yeah, I don't know why I didn't
I thought
see that.
the same thing after the fight too. Like, what the fuck can I sprinkle on that?
Yeah, I usually throw a dart or two, and didn't see this one, so just kicking myself for that. But yeah, I think obviously what we've seen in the past with Elijah Dushku is he's going to struggle with guys that have good wrestling that he can't take down. I think his stand-up's got a lot better, so that kind of cancels it out. But yeah, he's a fun fucking fighter.
Brad?
Yeah, not much to add here, except, when you see a guy who doesn't normally do a specific thing in a fight, but has a big advantage there and does it in that fight, you sort of mark that down as a plus in the fight IQ category.
Move him up.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he had no takedown opportunities in other fights. Like, he tried to take. He did try to.
It's
take
just not
guys
what
down.
he usually does.
And usually does, and didn't really have success against those guys. But when you have a fish like Millender, it's going to be a lot easier. Like when you got a guy that's getting taken down by CR Bahardizada, like, come on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Not a good performance, but completely predictable. And Elijah Dushku might just be a top 15 fighter in that division. So
close.
Pretty good talent. Main event, and I have to say, I don't believe there's a more mookie fighter in mixed martial arts than Derrick Lewis. I mean, that whole I got hit in the stomach, I'm gonna play rope-a-dope has got to be
hurting.
But how many times has he done that though? I mean, why is there always
he gets hurt every time when somebody touches his
The guy with that big a belly, you'd think he'd have some protection around his stomach.
Exactly.
But it
how
seems
much
to get hurt a lot.
indigestion is there?
See, but the thing is now you don't know if he's hurt or not hurt. So he's smart. He's playing that meta game.
It was good to see. I mean, it's good to see a resurgence from JDS. He was always kind of a fun fighter. Seems like a really good guy, and he had a string there where he was getting kind of brutally finished, and now he's taking out a younger guy in Tuivasa who we thought maybe was going to take a step, and now he gets rid of Derrick Lewis. So it's good to see. There's a little bit of old JDS, a little bit of new JDS in this fight, but still scary. It's still heavyweights.
Every time he backs up against the cage and ducks and runs out, you worry.
He ran too, Brad. He fucking ran.
He still got clipped in this fight, so it's still scary laying money on heavyweights. Like, fuck, anything can happen. Even shitty Derrick Lewis clipped JDS in this fight. But
who's another guy who does that? Like doesn't get hit against the cage and runs towards the center?
Stipe.
Yeah, I'm thinking Stipe's one, right? Yeah.
It's really only a heavyweight thing.
Yeah, Overeem's done that shit quite a few times.
Yeah, Overeem did it too a couple times. I remember seeing him doing the bicycle right along the cage to get away from people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lateral movement is not a thing for heavyweights.
Anderson's done it.
Condit for 5 rounds against Nick Diaz in one of the greatest performances in MMA history.
Clean performance.
Oh, it's Mookie. Yeah.
So I will give my props to Derrick Lewis though, because like we said earlier, that dude did come in and fight with every ligament torn in his knee, but that dude was absolutely hurt to the body. I mean, he gets hurt to the body every fight. If you just touch that dude's body, every time he fights, and I'm always on the other side with a bet, so I'm screaming, hit him in the fucking body, man. He cannot handle it to the body. And I mean, even besides that, he was hurt, but still, that was some cool ass shit. I mean, he almost got JDS with that, and Sean's right. It's still scary as hell, man, to have money even on JDS, dude, because he's still been knocked slick out multiple times recently, and it looked like Derrick caught him with some glance and stuff a couple times in that first round, and he fucking turned around and started running and shit. So, it's still shaky, but I mean, they opened Junior's points at like minus 135. It was between minus 135 and minus 165, and him inside the distance was plus money. That's crazy to me. The skill gap in this fight, I think, was just astronomical. Like, it was huge. Derrick Lewis, he had one shot to win this. Like, one, that's all he's got in pretty much in any fight. Because it's only a couple rounds of it too, because that dude gasses harder than I think anybody. Like, straight up, after 5-6 minutes, he will literally go to his back and lay there. The rep will have to force him to get up off his back because he's so gassed. So,
I like how this went from Wes giving props to Derrick Lewis.
Shitting on him.
Shitting all over him.
That is what it is.
But, yeah. Hey, the dude's the dude's made a lot of money.
He shows up. He's
driving a fucking Lamborghini 150 miles an hour now on the countdown shows and shit. Whoever thought Derrick Lewis 5 years ago was going to be doing countdown videos in a Lamborghini? That dude's made some money in this sport. He always shows up. He's always got that knockout power, so you never know what the fuck's going to happen. There's my props to Derrick Lewis.
One thing to note, isn't it awesome just betting on fighters and just have no clue what kind of injuries they're bringing into fights or illnesses and stuff like that? Like, you got the major leagues who are going to have to send in all their like lineups to the sports books now that it's legal. And NFL, they have to put guys on injury reports. Yeah, we're just going in blind in MMA and just hoping our guy doesn't shit himself before he goes out and fights.
Darren Till was doing enemas to fucking get rehydrated and shit. Nobody even knew about it until after the fight.
Yeah. Good stuff. Betting on the old MMA.
I think Zion just dunked from the foul line.
Yeah, I was just going to say he just dunked from the free throw line. That just happened.
Monster.
Lance is like...
I have nothing to add for
the
Lewis fight.
Lance is saying he's a bust?
Said next level, he's gonna be a bust. I'm like, dude,
you're out of your mind.
Nah, they ain't. Look at that steal. Guys ain't built like that, man. Yeah, dunk from the fucking free throw line. Yeah, guys just ain't built like that, man. Those are like, it's crazy, man. But I think athletically and stuff, I compare that dude to Bo Jackson and shit, man. Dudes just aren't built like that anymore.
Yep.
I mean, LeBron was kind of like that. He was like a different body size than a typical NBA player.
But even LeBron wasn't this big.
Not then, yeah. But neither was Shaq either. And I know that's a good point.
Like Zion Williamson could be the greatest tight end that's ever played football. He could be the greatest defensive end that's ever played football. That dude could be like I'm telling you, he's one of the most freakish athletes I've ever seen.
For a guy that size.
He's very top heavy. Yeah. Anyway.
Off to London.
Yes, London. Yes.
Foggy London town.
Brexit these motherfuckers already.
Yeah. Is Brexit back? I keep hearing rumors.
Brexit never goes away. Brexit never goes away.
It's so funny they can't decide. It's kind of like does Quebec want to be part of your country?
Do we want Quebec to be part of the country?
I know, but it's still there.
Luckily, they might be dumb enough to vote themselves out, but unfortunately, we don't have the power.
Get those Quebecers, those Frenchies out of here. Go start your own country, make your own money. Croissant makers. Pick a language already, Jesus. All right, UFC London. I feel like they go to London every March, and some mook Englishman ends up in the main event and wins a fight that they probably shouldn't win. I feel like it happens every year.
Not today, Satan.
Then gets the title shot and gets rolled like usual.
So we started off with, Nad Narimani taking on. Wait, let me get this straight. Is that another Gundy brother? What's going on?
The British half brother.
Who is this guy? Why does he have a wiki page?
He's like the Seinfeld episode where George's dad goes over to like Japan or something.
Has a wrestling wiki page and nothing about his MMA career.
Oh shit!
That's a bronze medal Commonwealth Games medalist right there.
What the hell is Commonwealth
that means he lost to 2 Canadians in wrestling, probably.
Yeah, because Americans aren't allowed in the Commonwealth Games.
He's like a middle school wrestler over here in the States. He's wrestling 12-year-olds in the States.
Yeah, Nigeria is part of the Commonwealth. Right? There's a lot of countries in the Commonwealth, but not one important. India, Australia, Canada, Kenya. Woof.
No.
I was trying to see if there's any wrestling strongholds here. No. Pakistan.
He basically just got bronze for showing up.
We've had golds, all right?
Uganda, Singapore, Scotland.
Ooh, there's some decent wrestlers in Scotland.
He showed up and literally had his own singlet and cut.
The Isle of Man has 46 people participating in the freaking game. The Isle of Man. Does anyone even know where the Isle of Man is? Maybe Samoa. That might be the best. Tonga.
Jay's real fired up about this.
Commonwealth.
Such a shit show.
Oh shit! Bare knuckle boxing owner just got sentenced to a year in prison for mortgage fraud. You ain't getting paid for that one, Chris Lieben.
We've been suing him for $90,000.
I didn't know Chael was running bare knuckle boxing.
Setting up fights, trying to show you fucking timeshares over in Australia and shit.
Oh yeah.
All right, what are we doing here?
What are we
doing? The Gundy brother.
Wes, tell me about the Gundy brother.
Man.
Outside of why didn't he pursue basketball? I don't get it.
He doesn't have the Dutch half that makes him tall.
Oh, right.
That's why the rest of them are the Van Gundys.
Holy shit. Oh man, you just don't get this kind of stuff when Brad's MIA.
Yep.
Whew. I don't have too much of a breakdown on this fight, but I do have a bet on this fight, and I'm going to put it like this: we've all been talking about a thing called. I think one of our friends that's down in the marsh pits of Florida right now is going back and forth with them, but these MMA Twitter nerds seem to get on a side, get on a bet, and more times than not, they're just horribly wrong, and they all lose. And I think this might be another one of those times. I've seen all the MMA Twitter nerds on the Forgotten Gundy brother, and man, they've pushed this line just crazy. Nad opened, I believe, around 250, minus 280, something like that. He's down to minus 135 in this spot, man. And if you really think a Commonwealth Games bronze medalist is some great wrestler and he's going to hump this dude for 3 rounds, I guess more power to you. But at minus 135, it's going to be a bet for me on Nad. And I think he can actually do that to what everybody else thinks Grundy's going to do in this fight. So I see him taking a fairly close, but I think he gets a decision here. So, yeah, minus 135. I'll take a little bit of that.
All right. Nushan.
Yeah, I don't if it's Twitter nerds or if maybe there's some injury that we don't know about. Like, it's a weird line move. It was settled around like minus 250, which, I mean, that might have been a little bit high on Naramani, but now it's all the way down to minus 135. Like, that's a crazy move, and I kind of disagree with that move. I don't think much of this Grundy guy. I know he's, as Wes said, a very elite bronze medalist wrestler in the Commonwealth Games, but yeah, I just think Naramani's just a bit better. Likely goes to decision, and Naramani should edge it out. I don't know if he's still trading an alpha male. It's a bit scary because alpha male's a bit of a shit show right now. But yeah, I think he's the much more skilled fighter. So
this dude, he went to a decision with Fernando Bruno at Aspira FC 58, and that was literally over almost like a year and a half ago. This dude ain't even stepped into a fight, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
My boy Miles Powell. Anyway,
put your dick up, Jay.
I know my pants. It's going to be hard for me. What can I say? It's going to be hard to concentrate. My pants are flying around already. It's okay. Should I get? Yeah, Brad. Why don't you tell us about why Nad Negreanu is going to win this fight?
All right. First of all, I looked up the medal table for wrestling at the 2014 Commonwealth Games.
Very important.
So, out of the 55 total medals, so 14 weight classes we have here, Canada won 7 golds. So that tells you the type of competition that
elite
Mike Gundy is winning bronze against. And secondly, I heard that Nad actually changed his name to Nads Marinara, moved to Arizona, training in the lab, and just tearing up the game. So
Nads Marinara. Nads Marinara is a great nickname.
Oh.
But
okay.
Yeah, he's going to win scrambles here. He's going to get top position. At some point, second, third round, might even take this guy's back and tap him out because he actually does have a pretty decent rear naked choke and sort of back pressure. So, yeah, I like Nads to pull this one off. You know, I don't know the whole rhyme. I'm a Jew, so I didn't do the whole Sunday school thing. But Mike Grundy, born on a Monday. Wait, born on a Sunday? Born on a Monday? Like I said, I don't know the whole rhyme, but he's going to lose on Saturday.
That's all you need to know.
What else is there to know? I didn't have my grades written out, but I will tell you that I am also on the Nad Negreanu train. How can you trust? I mean, how can you trust Gundy? I mean, really, that's what it comes down to.
British wrestler, like
I don't care. Commonwealth, Schwamenwealth. I've seen Negreanu fight. He's kind of a tank. He's what Lance would call a big, strong guy.
BSG.
He's a fighter you want to have your money on. He's quite consistent. He's strong. He'll take fights to the ground. He's got a pretty good punching power. He's got a pretty good work ethic and work rate. I like him here. This price doesn't make sense. Beat me. That's what I'm gonna say. Beat me. Beat Negreanu. Prove to me that Grundy, you're capable. And I think that makes this the consensus bet. First bet out of the card. We'll know.
Get it in early.
Get it out of the way. One of us all day on Saturday after this fight, or you can praise us, one or the other. I think we're getting back on the winning track. So Negreanu to win outright. Nushan, what's the price?
Minus, or what is it? Yeah, minus
135.
Yeah. It's a cheap
All
number.
right. Good.
Yeah.
Now, next fight, I don't have anything to say about, but why is John McCain's daughter fighting now?
Back from the dead, baby.
How? How is she fighting?
Was he over having?
Was he over? Beats MMA. How is his daughter an MMA fighter? This is such an insult to a great American. POW.
He shouldn't have been banging those British chicks while he was locked up in the POW camp.
What you be doing?
My
dunk time. Oh boy. Yeah, I got nothing to say. This fight disgusts me. It's so called Priscilla Cacciatore.
She's the chick who got absolutely murdered by Shevchenko. And Yamasaki he had that big bet on fight goes to the distance, and he did not want to stop that fight.
She had 5 years taken off her life.
This other chick got beat by fucking Jillian
Robertson.
Yeah, that's top 10 Canada of a goat, pound for pound.
Currently the best Canadian hope for a belt.
Yep.
One step ahead of Jesse Ronson.
Oh.
And two step
Bronson brothers, right? Isn't there two?
No.
No, those are the Laramies.
Oh, yeah.
The Rougeau brothers are
They're all Caucasians. I get them mixed up.
Named after some cigarettes.
But some are French and some speak English. That's the
The
difference.
fucking Marlboro brothers in the
The Canadian Marlboro brothers.
Woo!
Oh, shit. I have two things to say about this fight. And one, I feel like Jay already stole my thunder a little bit, but I was going to say that Priscilla's name looks like how Billy Madison spells Cacciatore. I actually had that shit written down already.
Wow.
And secondly, I logged on to Tapology. I was doing some real serious research on this fight. I saw her picture, and I didn't even scroll down to see the record. I just thought, holy shit, why is Jimmy Smith's daughter in the UFC?
Wow, Jimmy Smith. Wow.
Holy fuck!
It could be like a Cromartie situation.
Oh man, y'all need to be.
It makes sense.
Oh shit!
And this show's free. Damn.
No, I was gonna say y'all need to start PayPaling Brad like $10 a week every time he shows up.
I did bet Ghost Decision for at minus 140, by the way, because
as you do,
yeah,
as you do.
I do.
I don't necessarily blame you, but we saw this girl almost get murdered.
Yeah, but she can take a beating. Holy fuck!
I mean, but John McCain's daughter, she's not even allowed to punch. She's supposed to be a pacifist. Remember, like John McCain hates fighting.
I'm just crossing my fingers that
I don't know about
Yamasaki's
that.
going to be reffing this one because he will let that bloodbath continue.
Jay, is that why this had to be on ESPN Plus? Because John McCain's ban of MMA and all
Can't be on
it's not
broadcast.
allowed- Exactly, can't be broadcast. There you go.
You got to live in the name of the Father.
Oh.
All right,
we made a chick fight fun.
Yeah.
Molly McCann has to win. This is the reality of it. Her nickname's Meatball.
She's this chick's a minus 220 favorite in this fight.
Does it matter?
I might have to bet on the
does.
underdog just out of principle.
Yeah,
She's the 40 by Tapology standards. She's the 45th best female flyweight fighter in the world. Brad, have some respect.
There's 45 female flyweight fighters.
Poor bastard! Like I hope that's a computer program and someone's not manually ranking these people because if
I would
someone
love
has
if that was the
to
case.
rank worldwide women's flyweight fighters,
Dude, there's enough dorks out
And
there.
there's some serious tryhards in the MMA community. There's no fucking doubt about that.
That's gotta be an Al Gore-ism, though. It's gotta be one of those.
This motherfucker said I'm going.
Must be an internet joke.
What, that's not what it's called?
Next fight, Dan Age and Danny Henry. This could be competitive.
Dan
right,
versus Dan.
Wes? Yeah. Ooh, why can't it be Dan versus Dave, though? I mean, that'd be way cooler.
Taking it back, Jay.
No Nike, though. Reebok, boy.
Fight kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wes?
Do you still have that King Casey fight kit, Wes?
Goddamn right I do.
Fuck
Me.
When's he going to release
Man,
it? Honestly.
That's why I said I need to message him, and now that T Wood doesn't have the belt and he's not busy, I need to get them together for collaboration for the new MMA Analysis theme song.
He sent a message to Woodley when Woodley dropped his single, so there seems like there could be some stuff in the works.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a serious downgrade, though, for the King.
Oh, yeah. I mean, King would lift him up. I mean...
Yeah, but maybe that's what King wants to do at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to be like... He wants to be... I don't even know.
Charitable.
No.
He's trying to
You gotta
help out-
mentor the young bucks, you
Yeah,
know?
you gotta help
Maybe-
out a guy who just lost his belt.
Maybe
Dude,
the
that guy
King
is
he wants to
asshole.
be P. Diddy to Mace. Like, he wants to raise him up, make him a name in the music game.
T. Woodley going to go Jesus freak?
Oh my goodness.
Let's not assume that part.
My God. Zion, literally, every time he jumps, he almost hits his head in the room. It's
Sure,
fucking
his head or his dick.
both.
Honey dipping with
I'm
his
back.
dick.
Imagine he's probably got like those, those stretch bands you stretch your legs out with when you stretch. He's probably got like 3 of those wrapped around his leg and his cock just to hold that motherfucker down.
A lot of rubber bands.
3, now fuck a rubber band. He's got 3 stretch bands around that motherfucker.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like headbands, flat out. Yeah.
All right, what's up next?
Yeah.
Wes.
Oh, this
Danny
Dan
Henry
Edge versus Danny Henry.
Yeah, Dan versus Dan. Come on.
Man, I really don't have too much of a clue on this one. I kind of lean Inge here, just a little bit more the wrestling chops. I don't really know much about Danny Henry, man. The Tamor win, I think you could throw it out the window. We know how shitty that dude is. The quick finish of Dawu, I just don't know too much to put in those performances. So I've seen Inge. He's been in there tough with some guys. So I kind of lean him at this point. Probably no bet here, but Edge is the pick.
So, Nushan, so the Duke-Syracuse game has gone less than 10 minutes, and Zion's stats for the first half are 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, and an assist. Pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, that's he seems like a bust.
Jeez.
That's a bust right there.
4 steals in 10 minutes? That's all right.
They're actually kind of bad without Zion, which is
insane.
Yeah.
Well,
which is
just
crazy. When they have, they have 3 top 5 or 6 picks in next year's draft. Without the number 1 pick, they're actually not very good. It's how,
or they're just shell shocked without him.
There's only one ball, Wes. There's only one ball.
I mean, they had multiple games without him. I mean, R.J. Barrett looked lost without him.
Yeah, there's no discussion about who would be the number 1 pick anymore.
Anybody that doesn't take that dude should be fired. The next day, they should be fired. I mean,
yeah, you want to sell jerseys?
I just
You
hope
want to
the
sell
Knicks
tickets?
don't get the top pick. 'Cause...
Oh, watch your fucking mouth.
we don't
you.
need Zion on the Knicks. That'd be
Yes,
a shame.
that would be a tremendous thing.
if there was one team in the league that could bust Zion Williams,
Yep.
As for Edge and Henry, I kind of think the exact same way as Wes. No clue what Henry is, considering the wins that he's had in the UFC. Hard to just tell. Maybe he just got lucky with the Dawodu win or what, but I'll go with the more known commodity in Dan Edge, but no bet.
Okay. Bradley.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning the same way as the other guys. All we really know about Henry at this point is he can take a beating and he can survive it. And once his opponent is dead tired, he can do stuff to his opponent. And I don't see Dan Edge getting super tired in this fight. I think that if there's grappling exchanges, he gets on top. He's got a pretty decent overall submission game, offensive and defensive. So I think he probably gets on top. He does some damage, gets some position, and wins a decision here. I just think that Henry doesn't stop fighting and is never completely out of it, but I don't see him having the skills to win the fight.
I think that's why I like Danny Henry slightly in this bout. Is I like his work rate, and while I think he could certainly lose the first round, I think he'll take over the fight as it goes on, and we know how mookie the judges can be overseas, especially in the UK. So I'm going to say Henry wins a close decision, but certainly not a confident play. All right, next fight up, we got Tom Breeze taking on Ian Heinisch. Your Heinisch. Heinisch, please. All right, Wes.
Yeah, actually, I like Heinisch quite a bit in this fight. Actually, I think there's a legit path for him to win this fight. I think he can get this fight down pretty much about as much as he won. He's fighting a fucking British dude. So, I do rate Tom Breeze pretty good, though. I think that he's a decent fighter, but I think he likes to kind of stay at more distance and strike, and he's fairly good at that. I just think the kind of fight that Heinisch can bring is a problem for him, and it's just not a good matchup. If Heinisch can apply that sort of game here, I think he can absolutely get a decision here. So I took a little bit. I believe it was plus 125. Little money has come in on Heinisch since then, but I still think he's a good bet at even money, minus 105 or whatever he's sitting at right now. So yeah, still like him at that price as well.
All right, new Sean.
Breeze isn't training at TriStar anymore, so he's going to be training his wrestling with a bunch of fucking British dudes. And that's going to be an issue in this fight. I think Heinisch is going to be able to get it down. It is always a bit scary when you got a guy going to London against a British fighter, but I think Heinisch will have enough of a he'll be ahead enough that you don't have to worry about some sketchy scorecards. I definitely liked him a bit better when it was plus money. I think I'm going to wait it out and see if I can get a little bit higher than what it is right now. But yeah, the pick is Heinisch to wrestle Tom Breeze for a decision.
All right, Brad, any thoughts here?
Yeah, Breeze has always had a little bit of hype behind him, so waiting this one out and seeing if you can get back to that plus money on Heinisch isn't a bad call. If you aren't in on him already, I think plus 115, and I think the same sort of thing. Breeze is a little bit more suited to 185 because he's got that big frame, but still, Heinisch, he's too passive. He's going to let Heinisch get inside on him, and once that happens, he's just not going to have the chops to stay off his back, and that's just how fights with British dudes against wrestlers go. So I like Heinisch here, and I think he might be a distant relative of CB Dollaway. He looks like he smells farts all the time, but I'm okay with that as long as he brings home some money here. And next time he's out, New Sean and I were talking about it. We think he's probably going to be a bigger fave, and that might be the time to look at going against him.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm going to echo Brad's sentiments here, and I'm going to go with Nick Heinisch as well. I'll take the grappler who likes to grapple versus the striker. I think that usually works. All right. Oh, man, this is going to be hard to pronounce. I'll start with Saperbek Safarov. A lot of taking on Nikolay Negreanu.
That's pretty good, Jay.
That'll do it.
Okay.
That's what you got here.
Oh, yeah. Man, I tell you what, I really don't know on this fight. I think Safarov is not very good. But, man, one of y'all brought it up before the show. I mean, if you look at this other cat's record, man, dude, he's fighting guys that are 10-13, 2-15. There's a 12-41 on there, and like he's not even finishing some of these dudes. So, yeah, I don't really see how you can have any kind of money on this fight. I'll probably take the dog here in Top Master because it's a legit. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen in this fight.
All right, New Sean, do you have anything to add here?
I don't blame guys for taking a bit of a shot at Safarov when it was like plus 185, just because, like Wes said, the last guy he beat to get into the UFC is 7-14 now. The guy before that is 2-16. Guy before that is 8-6. Those are the types of dumpster fire fighters that this guy is beating to get into the UFC. Like, I know this is kind of a last minute, it's been out. I forget who Safarov is supposed to fight, but it's been a couple weeks. But yeah, they really couldn't get anybody decent for this guy to fight. Safarov is kind of shitty himself. He had a pretty inflated record coming to this one. I mean, he did beat the great Rodney Wallace to get a UFC shot. So
show enough.
And then he just gets beat by John Vellante and Tyson Pedro, and those guys are not good either. I'll pick Safarov, but I don't want to touch anything to do with this fight. Maybe this guy who's just been crushing absolute cans is actually decent, but fuck, who knows at this point.
All right, Brad, what do you got for me?
I know nothing about Paperbag Safarov or Daniel Negreanu's brother, so I'm gonna just pass on this one. But the fact that
Kid Poker,
he's coming out.
The fact that Kid Poker's brother is a favorite with the guys that he's faced, like I haven't watched any of it, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but when you're just winning fights in RXF MMA,
hell yeah,
whatever the fuck that is, and you come into your UFC debut and you're a favorite against a guy who's actually fought, like he lost to him, he sucks, but he fought some real dudes. That's something. That's yeah. I stay away.
Yeah, hopefully somebody just gets knocked out in this fight, because we don't
if
want it. We don't want to.
If you're not betting
the
underdog here, if you're not betting the underdog in this fight, do not bet this fight.
Safarov's got that awesome video of that stare down where he fucking kind of flinches at old boy flinches back, and Safarov kind of taps him on the chin. Old boy taps him back, and then Safarov hauls off and clocks this motherfucker. Like, that dude's got it. He's got
some Heath Herring stuff right
there.
Straight
up, dude. It's a great video. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about the
If anyone says they know what's going to happen in this fight, they are completely in fucking La La Land.
Dude, buy my picks, $50, Brad. I know who's going to win this fight.
I mean, look at this guy. The records of this guy's last few fights. So his last fight, he fought a guy who was 10-13 in RXF MMA 32. Then he fought Kovacs Kami Kaimon. Isn't that the guy from Altered Carbon?
Isn't that one of the WWF wrestlers from back in the day? Was it Boris and Kavikanov? Or?
And that's in RXF 31 Chia Napoca, okay? And then he fought my boy Olatube Ajuwaje Kalajazve.
These aren't real people.
Kapozin don't even watch those fight cards. That's telling you something.
Yeah, Kapozin's like, who there?
Yeah, he don't even watch that shit.
You don't know those guys. There's no guy ranked 318,000th in the world in MMA. It's hard to be 318,000th in MMA. Okay?
So, if you have actually watched one of Nick Negreanu's previous fights and you're betting on him, hit me up on Twitter. I will give you one free lacrosse bet.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Let's just move on from this. Mark Diakiese is fighting Joe Duffy, and well, that should be pretty good.
Yeah. Right,
Wes? You must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I did. This is actually probably a pretty good fight, I think. I like Joe Duffy, man. I've been a big fan of his. But man, there's just some huge red flags coming into this fight for me. The layoff, of course, coming off a really bad knockout, probably the worst loss he's ever had. Year and a half layoff. I think Diakiese could give him some problems, kind of in the same way that Vic did with his length, man, and his kicking game. I did bet Diakiese at plus 195 small. I'm not like overly confident in it, and I think if this hits round 3, I'm gonna be fucking full pucker factor because Diakiese's gonna be fucking gassing all over the place. So I'm hoping he catches Duffy with something before then. But I think he can get him out of there with something. I just think there's a lot of question marks with Duffy coming back into this fight. At plus 195, I thought it was worth a little shot. I do think Duffy is the overall better fighter here, but man, huge red flags for me. We talk about it. Sometimes it's good to take a layoff like that after a bad loss, but that's like his first really bad loss ever. No fights past that to kind of judge and see how he comes off of that. So, yeah, plus 195. I thought this was about as good a spot as you're going to get to fade Joe Duffy, so I took it.
New Sean.
I'm on the other side.
Let's go.
I really like Joe Duffy in this fight. There definitely is a bit of red flags. He has been out since November of 2017 after that knockout. It's a bit long. I mean, we like guys taking some time off after getting knocked out, but he's been out for a bit longer than I would like. But I just like him in this matchup. I think he's going to be a lot smarter. I think he's going to take down Diakisi and sub him. Duffy trains at TriStar, and the guy who Diakisi just fought, Hakparast, also trains at TriStar. So Faraz is going to be it's definitely going to be a different game plan than what Hakparast had, but I think at least his team is very familiar with this fighter. Diakisi does have powerful strikes, so Duffy's going to have to be careful, but I really think that Duffy's going to be able to take him down and sub him, and we've seen Diakisi on the map before, and it's not good. So
yep, you're right about that for sure.
I put 2 units on Joe Duffy in a parlay. I also played fight doesn't go the distance at minus 110. That's kind of a quasi hedge that if Diakisi does crack Duffy and puts him out, at least it saves me a bit of money. But I really think Duffy's going to sub him. So when that eventually comes out, I know props have been taking fucking forever this week for whatever reason, but I'll be sprinkling on Duffy by sub.
Okay, Brad?
Yeah, I'm a little bit on Duffy's side as well here. I just think that if it's at distance and it's striking, that Duffy's got the more fluid striking game. Diakisi, the adopted son of Ted DiBiase, has a little bit more dynamic striking, but Duffy's got the more consistent output. I don't think the range is going to be a factor as it was in the rapist fight, but I think that Duffy's going to win that, and then Diakisi's other option is to get in real tight, and once he does that, he doesn't really have a clinch game. He just sort of goes for those really high amplitude throws. And I think even if he lands one of them and gets Duffy on his back, Duffy's still probably got an advantage on the ground, even if he's off his back. So got to side with got to side with Duffy here, no matter where the fight ends up going. I just think he ends up finding a way to get the sub on the ground or decision if it's on the feet.
Make it 3-1, Jay, so we can have another mean situation like last week.
No, I tend to think Joe Duffy's going to submit Mark Diakisi. I think that's where the difference really is. It's a big difference on the ground. On the feet, it's decently competitive. I mean, I think Duffy's a better technical striker, but Diakisi's got kind of a powerhouse kind of a striker. He has his moments of elements of surprise and excitement, but Duffy's way more technical, way more composed, better gas tank, and a way better ground game. I could definitely see him taking it to the ground, and he can absolutely submit. So let's see. I'll take Duffy, and I'll say by submission. I think he's one of the better parlay pieces on the card. Prelim headliner, we got American Jordan Rinaldi taking on a man with 2 first names, Brad. Arnold Allen.
Shout out.
You know how I love it.
Yeah. All right. We'll start with Wes.
Yeah, I like Arnold Allen in this fight. Man, I get some of the knocks against him. I know he's still fairly young in the fight game, and he's got a few holes. There's no doubt about that. And I think in the future there might be some spots to where he can get in trouble. But man, Jordan Rinaldi is not gonna fucking get Arnold Allen down and ride on him like he tries to do in most of his fights. I really do not think Jordan Rinaldi is that good whatsoever. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. I just beating Jason Knight and getting mauled by Greg Orr and stuff. It's it's proven enough to me, man. I think Allen wins this fight fairly easy, pretty much anywhere he wants to. I kind of see Allen getting the takedowns here and smashing on Rinaldi. So I don't get this line movement, man. He was like minus 290 earlier this week.
It's crazy.
He's down to he's down to minus 135. That's dumb. However you want to break down this fight, and even if you think Rinaldi's got a shot at it, there is no way the line should be where it's at now. I mean, I could see hitting Rinaldi at plus 175, plus 200, somewhere in that range, absolutely taking the shot. Because, like I said, I do think Allen's got some holes in his game, but this is not the guy that's gonna expose those holes, in my opinion. So, Arnold Allen at this line is going to be one of the bigger bets on the card for me. If it goes down in flames, it goes down in flames. I do not rate Rinaldi whatsoever. So, Arnold Allen all day for me in this spot at that line.
All right. Nushan, continue.
Yeah, I don't get this line either. I don't know if Rinaldi's getting a little bit of hype behind him because of the Jason Knight win. I just think that was an absolute terrible performance by Jason Knight, and he's also kind of not really who we thought he was. He's just kind of a fun fighter, but has definitely big holes. So Rinaldi just isn't good. I mean, the loss to Gregor is what it is. Gregor's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he's still lost to Abel Trujillo back in the day. Like he's been around a while, but he just doesn't fight that much. I just don't think he's that skilled. Arnold Allen has shown a bit of some skill. He does train at TriStar. I know TriStar is not really what it used to be, but I still think Zahabi is still a good game planner and a good coach to have in your corner, even if you're not the most skilled fighter. So I definitely give the edge to Allen. I just think he's, at this point, is a better fighter. I don't know what he is in the future, but I think he's probably made some decent steps in his layoff. So I'll pick him, and I'm looking at betting him at minus 135.
Smart. Brad?
Yeah, earlier in the week I was actually looking at Rinaldi a little bit. That's back when we were talking about minus 290, minus 210, that sort of stuff for Allen. But this fight's almost even money now, so I think I definitely had to reconsider. I don't know what you're thinking out there, but Rinaldi is a guy that he'll probably be able to get some takedowns first round, because Allen, kind of like Nico Price, I said earlier, is a guy that loses until he wins. Allen can do the same sort of thing, except I think in this fight we're going to see Jordan Rinaldi get tired. He's going to win the first round. Second is going to be a toss-up. We're in England, so probably going to Allen. And then third is either Allen finding another late finish or just winning that round very, very clearly. And that's going to end up in an Allen finish or an Allen decision. So basically even money, I think you've got to switch to Allen here.
I'm on Allen too. I think Allen's a bit actually underrated. He's young. I think he's resilient. I think he's got a mentality that I think suits well for MMA. Rinaldi's an American kind of wrestler who's really not that good in the first place, and I think Allen's just a way more technically savvy fighter. So this is a good price to pick up Allen to get the W. Main card, we got John Captain Phillips taking on good old Welshman Jackie Marshman.
Welsh on Welsh crime on this fight.
Yeah. Who is the captain of Welsh? Wales.
This should be just fucking. This should be fun though. This should be a really good fight. Man, I kind of lean Marshman in this one, just slightly. I think he's just going to be a little more technical. This John Phillips cat though, if you've never seen him fight, he's insane, man. This dude goes out and completely throws down until somebody's out of it. So I don't see this fight going to a decision whatsoever. Slight lean towards Marshman, but man, I can't have money on this fight whatsoever.
Okay. Nushan, you can just continue after West.
Yeah, I have no idea about this fight. Phillips is obviously the much more action fighter. I don't know if he might get caught here, but I think if you're going to play this, don't worry about the side and maybe parlay the doesn't go decision, because like Wes said, Phillips he doesn't really like decisions. 1 decision in 29 total career fights. Whether he's winning or losing, it's not going to decision.
He throws the fuck down.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Brad?
I agree with half of what Wes said.
Oh.
He said this is going to be fun and it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be fun.
That's fair.
But it's going to be sloppy.
It's always fun, though.
It's going to be sloppy as shit, but it'll be fun. I give you that. Somebody's going to get knocked out here, and hopefully, for all of our sakes, it'll last less than a round or so, and yeah, that's about it. I don't care who wins. I'm not betting this fight. I'm not really playing anything on this fight, so go out there and be fun, guys.
Yeah. It's Marshman, so someone's gonna get hit in the face. I mean, that's usually how it works. I mean, I don't hate Marshman. I don't really like Marshman, but you know, it's like D minus level MMA, and you get what you get.
Welsh MMA.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on.
This is absolutely a fight that would be on like the second fight on a Cage Warriors main card instead of a second fight on a UFC main card. I'm the captain now.
Let's move up to Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts, taking on Claudio Silva. Anything here, Wes?
Yeah, if this damn Brazilian just only fought like 3 times in 17 years and shit, I might take a little shot here, but man, I just don't know. Fighting Danny Roberts over in England, this fight has Mookie shit written all over it, so I'll probably have to pick Claudio Silva, though, because man, I don't think Danny Roberts is that good whatsoever, but I don't want to lay minus 150 on Claudio Silva. If it comes down some more, I might take a little stab there, but yeah, picks Claudio Silva. No bet for me right now.
Danny Roberts' last 3 wins are against absolutely fucking terrible fighters. David Zawada, Oliver Enkamp, and Bobby Nash. Like, those guys, are any of those guys still in the UFC?
3 of the worst fighters.
They're just fucking terrible. And like Wes, like, Claudio Silva has 1 fight in the last 5 years. He looked good against Taleb. I don't think Taleb is what he was a couple of years ago, but it was still pretty impressive. I think you're getting a cheap price because of kind of the unknown. If I'm feeling bored and lucky, I might play Silva small at minus 150.
Okay, Brad, anything here?
I once bet on Brad Scott. I think that may have
congratulations.
It may have been against Claudio Silva, and so that shows you my opinion of Claudio Silva.
The 2 first names failed you there, Brad.
It did. So there's nothing of value from me here.
Yeah, there's nothing of value anywhere for. Yeah, I mean, this fight's not very good at all.
No, it's not.
I mean, he's 36.
Fights on his card.
I mean, that dude's 36 years old, but his last 3 maybe he's only fought once in like 4 years. It's brutal.
Occasionally, Danny Roberts hits like spinning back fists and shit like that. So I don't know. Maybe something fun happens, but I don't have my hopes up for this one.
Yeah, Danny Roberts isn't very good at MMA. To be candid, I mean, his best wins are Bobby Nash, Dominic Steele, and David Zawada. So,
what are you talking about? His best wins are Nathan Coy and Jim Wallhead. Get your head out of your ass, Jay.
I'm going to go with Claudio Silva, but at some point he's just going to fall off a cliff. From a sporting perspective, I just don't know when that's going to be, but he's a better fighter than Danny Roberts. I'll say that. Okay. Next fight up is definitely more clear. We got Nathaniel Wood taking on Jose Quinonez. Tough Mexico. Yeah.
He's the captain now.
Yeah, he's fucking slanging some new beer, some new Mexican craft beer. I feel like
he would make more money being the Captain Morgan's guy than fighting.
Oh, definitely.
Just missed opportunity. Just some career advice, no big deal.
ESPN, get in on that.
Yeah, especially after this one. Not because
we won't charge you for the first one.
I'll keep this one short. Nathaniel Wood is going to roll this dude. I think Nathaniel Wood is pretty good for a British guy. I think he can get on the mat pretty good for a British guy, and he's going to smash this dude. So this is probably the best parlay piece on the card, in my opinion.
Okay. Nushan, continue.
Quinonez is bad.
Yep.
So this should be all Nathaniel Wood. Definitely looks like he has a good amount of skill. It's just one of those things where he hasn't beat anybody. And I guess we're going to be saying that after this because it's not like Quinonez is somebody. Beating Andre Ewell and Johnny Eduardo, like it's tough to gauge those guys, but it's not like Quinonez is better than those guys, so he should roll, and hopefully we keep seeing improvements in Nathaniel Wood's game.
Okay. Brad, are you on the Nathaniel Woods train as well?
Yes. Moving on.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest fight to pick on the card. Nathaniel Wood is actually a pretty good prospect. Quinonez, while I think he's done better than most thought he would in the UFC, this is a tough fight for him. He's facing a guy who's stronger, better energy, more tools. It's a mismatch. It's
kind of telling that they didn't give the British prospect on this card a wrestler or any sort of decent fighter. So
yeah, they're definitely bringing along Wood slowly, which I mean is probably a good thing. You don't usually see that very much with the UFC.
Yeah,
but
they've been known to fuck that up many a times before.
Well, like Northcutt.
Yeah, there's
a million
one
other
example.
guys. But,
yeah.
All right, next fight up. Really interesting matchup. Dominic Reyes taking on good old Vulcan.
The Can.
Wes? Vulcan.
Yeah. I think Vol can.
Can?
Yeah, I think he's been a little underrated here, man. I mean, he lost at DC, which I mean, come on, we all knew how that was going to happen. That was a lot of people said that was rushing a dude to a title shot. I get it because of the division the way it is, 205, but man, that guy wasn't even nowhere near close to being ready for DC. I mean, who really is?
What was the worst title shot? Volkan versus DC or Smith versus Jones?
Volkan versus DC, probably. Like seriously, probably.
Because he beat Jimmy Manoa. That's how he got a fucking title shot.
Yeah, and I mean, at least like, we know that Bones does dumb shit, and he could have been caught by Anthony Smith with something. There was no way DC was. We knew what he was going to do,
and it's over.
Yeah. I mean, we knew what he was going to do, but, and then I mean, Volkan had the previously mentioned Anthony Smith. Them in some trouble spots early, and then I mean, I think he threw it all out there, ended up gassing, getting choked out. So I just think he's being a little undervalued here. I do like Dominic Reyes. I think the guy's pretty good. But I mean, it's not like he's beaten the best guys. I mean, it's probably his best win as Jared Cannonier, but that's fat, sloppy dude before he got jacked up and on the magma down at 185. It's a completely different fighter. So, I mean, if you want to look at the quality of competition, I think Volkan's is way better at this point. Dominic Reyes is starting to be crowned as the Bones Jones killer and stuff by
starting to be crowned. He has been crowned.
Yeah, by some people will not be mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, at I grabbed a little plus 220. I thought that's a little crazy to me. I'm going to look at Volkan KO as well. I don't think it's going to be way too much past that because that's probably about his only chance of winning this fight. But yeah, I mean, I like him here at that kind of price. These are some fairly even guys at about the same point in their career, in my opinion. Like I said, I like Reyes, but man, he's been pumped up pretty hard, and man, we know how that turns out a lot of times up in the 205 and heavyweight division. All it takes is one crack from a guy like Volkan.
Yes.
I still don't know how good the can actually is. He knocked out a couple guys that are extremely chinny, and then ran into Cormier, and then kind of shit the bed against Smith. He does have big power. That's one thing that we know he has. As for Dominic Reyes, like he seems like he could be pretty damn good. He fought pretty well against OSP. OSP is always usually a tough fighter to kind of look good against. He's just so awkward. But he's going to bring it to Volkan, and I think that kind of plays right into Volkan's game. I mean, he's going to bring it to him. He's not going to like try to take him down, I don't think. I think he's just going to try to knock Volkan out. So I think Volkan has a decent shot to land a punch. Reyes has been hit a bit in his career, but he's obviously went and got by it. I'm waiting on the TKO prop. I'm hoping to get a little bit higher number than what the money line is. Maybe get in the plus 300 range. And I'll probably take that for a half unit when it comes out, just because I think Reyes is going to play into Volkan's hand, and maybe Volkan can catch him.
Bradley?
Like, what do we really know about Dominic Reyes at this point?
Very little.
He's got good power.
Yeah, he's got good power.
Athletic, former
athletic, variety of striking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can he fight?
That's the question, right?
Yeah, like we still don't know if he can actually fight because he's never been really in there with anybody that can take his stuff and do anything back to him. I think Volkan can do a little bit of that, but man, I don't know if he can do enough to. We saw a little bit of cardio in the Osp fight, but Volkan beat that guy by decision on short notice. Like, remember that Volkan Osp fight? He was supposed to fight at heavyweight, and then got a call 4 days before his heavyweight fight from the UFC to go down and fight at light heavyweight, and still ended up winning that fight. So, there's a lot here. This is more of a learning opportunity. Maybe if you want to bet Volkan, you can do something here, but I don't think anybody in their right mind should be throwing Reyes in parlays or just assuming that this is a walkthrough for him, because this is going to be a learning experience for us.
Come on, Brad. When the people are paying $49.99 for the card, you got to give them some fucking plays, dude. 8-unit parlays.
Yeah. This one's interesting to me. I'm kind of like Wes's mindset. Like, I like Dominic Reyes. I liked him from the very right, even before his UFC debut. I thought there was something there. I like the collegiate football player approach. I think that usually trends well towards MMA. He's got a really good just like structure, like body size, length, athleticism. It kind of makes sense for this weight class. I mean, he's done well in the UFC so far, but again, his best win is Osp. He hasn't been tested yet. I mean, could he potentially fight for the title one day? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, a weight class like this, almost anything's possible. But the guy he's facing is more experienced, has just as good of wins, if not better wins. He certainly has some losses and been a bit exposed, but should Volkan really be over a 2-1 underdog in this fight? It's a bit much. Definitely a bit much. So that's really my take here. I think Reyes ultimately does win. I think he could even get a KO, but it could be interesting because we haven't really seen Reyes get hit, and Vulcan certainly can hit and is capable of doing so. He's also a fast starter. So I think that could be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that bout. Co-main event, we got Leon Edwards, who always seems to fight in England, I swear, taking on Gunnar Nelson, who also always seems to fight in England. So something's got to give here. We'll start with Wes.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting fight. Actually got a half a SBG guy that fights and wins fights from time to time.
Not training at SBG anymore.
Well, then that's why. This is an interesting fight. When I first just started looking at it, I kind of favored Gunnar in this fight, but that last fight, his last couple fights, I mean, getting knocked out by Pontoon, and he got drilled up by Howboy. But we know how Howboy does when he can't get you out of there. He'll pull a Rumble Johnson in a heartbeat. And Leon Edwards ain't that type of guy. I think if Leon Edwards gets Gunnar in that type of position, he's going to keep it on him. But man, Gunnar gets a hold of him and gets us to the mat and stuff. I don't know if I know Leon Edwards doesn't have that type of game. But man, Leon Edwards hasn't lost a fight in like over 3 years, and that fight was against the current champ. It's got some pretty good wins in there too. Tumenov, when Tumenov was still fairly good. Vicente Luque, Cowboy. I don't read too much into the Cowboy win because I think that was a Cowboys here to get paid kind of fight. But still, a pretty good winning streak for Leon Edwards. So I can see paths for both these guys. Honestly, I'm leaning Gunnar right now. My pick's going to be Gunnar, especially at the plus money. I haven't bet anything on this fight yet. I just think that we know what's going to happen if Gunnar can get this to the mat. The question is, can he? We'll see. I'm leaning that way now. I think it's a really close fight, and I could see arguments for both guys, but my pick's going to be Gunnar at this moment. No bet as of right now.
Okay.
I played Leon Edwards at minus 137. Didn't like what I saw from Gunnar in that fight, like Wes said, or in that fight against Howboy, and then obviously coming off that knockout against Pontoon Boat. Leon Edwards, there are some. This is going to be a bit of a sketchy fight at the start, I think. Edwards has definitely been taken down in fights against not the greatest wrestlers. And I think if Gunnar does get him down, that he could be in trouble. So he's going to have to be on his bike and sticking and moving and making this a distance fight. I might look at hedging Gunnar by sub just for to take a bit off of it, because I think if that's the way Gunnar's going to win, if he does, gets Edwards down and subs him. But I'll lean more of Edwards to be able to keep him at distance and use his varied striking and win a decision.
Right.
Bradley?
All right. So Edwards has one last-second finish in his UFC career, another third-round finish, and he has that, 8-second whatever against Seth Kuczynski. Other than that, he has been going to decision in every single UFC fight that he's had. So once he gets up to that next level of competition, and even some of those guys that he's faced in his UFC run are not very good fighters. Once he gets up to that competition, he can't really do a lot of damage to those guys. So I don't see what the threat is to Gunnar in this one. I think that Gunnar is going to be able to use his crappy karate to land a strike or two outside and find his way into the clinch. And once he does that, he'll be able to get at the ground because, Lance's baby boy could take Leon Edwards to the ground. We know that. for sure. Yeah, and once it hits the mat, Gunny's got the huge advantage. So a dog number on that, I think I'll take that any day. So Gunny plus 115 right now. I think he's been higher than that at some points throughout the week. But even where it is right now, I like Gunny. And, he was wearing that Canadian singlet in the dance video, so
right.
He's throwing that Commonwealth Games wrestling superiority right in Leon Edwards' face.
I saw somebody tweet and say, that looks like when my cat's about to throw up. that's like dead on.
Heaving.
Yeah. I'm with Brad. I like Gunner as well. I mean, the thing with Leon Edwards, he's had some success in the UFC. I mean, he's never blown me away by any stretch. And I know he can be taken to the ground. If Gunner gets him to the ground, I don't see Leon Edwards getting up. I just do not see it. I think he would be completely exposed on the mat. On the feet, I think it does favor Leon Edwards for sure. He certainly fared well against Cowboy. But again, one opportunity on the mat and Gunner wins this fight. So I'll take the plus money on Gunner Nelson. Main event, we got Miami's finest, the Tan McGregor, Jorge Masvidal taking on the one-arm bandit, Darren Till. Oh man, Wes!
I'm so glad I'm back for a Darren Till card.
Left.
Look! Before we even get into this, I just want to harken back to the time that Darren Till was favored over fucking Tyrone Woodley, and we all got to make a bunch of money on Tyrone Woodley against Darren fucking Till.
Dude, I still haven't even watched that fight, and I made money off it.
You didn't have to. Didn't have to do no tape study. Didn't even have to watch the fight. You knew how that shit was. Yeah, this is a good one. Give me some enema against the Cuban refugee, Jorge Masvidal. You tell me, Jorge looks like he's literally ready to take over Miami in the 80s. I swear to God. That dude's running around like he's slinging kilos right now. I swear to God, dude. Man, I hate to say it, dude, but I don't think this fight's close, man. I think Till's gonna do a lot of fucking jumping around, circling to the left, pumping Jorge with a bunch of jabs. Jorge's gonna get frustrated about the second or third rounds, gonna start getting tired. I see Till kind of winning an easy decision here, man. I hate to say it because I fucking hate Darren Till. I love me some Masvidal, but this isn't a good fight for him. Jorge needs guys that are going to fight him, that are going to come and scrap with him. I mean, you can look at that Josh Thompson fight. I think it's going to look a lot like that. Till's just going to keep his distance, do enough to win rounds, and I think he's going to win most of them.
New Sean, are you in agreement?
Yep. Darren Till is just going to be absolutely massive compared to Masvidal in this fight.
Yeah, big time.
This is basically a middleweight going against a lightweight. It'll be interesting to see how much bigger he's actually going to be. Masvidal's just a guy that he loses close fights. It's kind of been his story his entire career. I don't know how close this one's going to be. I think, like Wes, I think it's going to be a wide decision, or maybe even Till can finish him late. Masvidal does get dropped a lot. He stays in there. He doesn't
down.
He doesn't get finished, but he definitely gets clipped and dropped. And Darren Till has big power. I am a little bit worried about Darren Till. He's got these new fucking veneer teeth. He should have just kept those snaggletooth British teeth.
Stay like Wes. Come on, dude.
He's wasting this time in the dentist chair instead of training, so that's a bit worrisome. But I think he's just going to be a bit too much for Masvidal. And I put Till in the 2-unit parlay with Duffy, and I got plus 110 on that.
Okay. Bradley? I know you're going to have a lot to say about Darren Till.
I've had so much to say about Darren Till throughout his career. We've been there every single fight. It still hasn't changed. You know, I would almost agree with what Wes said, but Darren Till doesn't know what a jab is because he doesn't have a lead hand. He just the man, like, the proprioception is not there. The sense of body is not there. So I think possibly for the first time in his career, he's going to fight a guy who's aware that he only has one hand and also has the skills to do something about it. Because we saw Cowboy in that Till fight, and he was just in absolute full mook mode at that point in his career.
Jorge trains with Nick Newell, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Holy fuck.
I'm telling you, next level. So I was all aboard the Jorge train, and then I saw this video where he was rightly calling out MMA journalists for being the absolute hacks that they are. It was a great video. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it right now. But in this video, what I saw was this hair all over the place, this beard all over the place. This dude is an absolutely unkempt wild man right now. He cannot be trusted to do the smart thing. So while I think he's got the skills to beat Darren Till, he can come forward. He can step to his left. He can step to Till's right and avoid that left hand because we know that Till's only got the left side. He can do all of that, but whether he's going to is a completely different question. So I think that Jorge actually has a decent shot to throw some technique in here and avoid basically Till's only two weapons, left hand, left foot, and get a win. But I cannot trust a dude who just comes into the fight with a lion's mane coming all around his head. So it's a tough one for me. I'm still going to pick Jorge because I can't side with that left-handed mook Darren Till. You know, most of us left-handed folk are good people, but this dude is the exception to the rule. So
Jorge doesn't come in with braids either. He's coming in with a man bun. Fighting.
Yeah, exactly. So if I see between now and weigh-ins that he shaves his head or something like that, then
different story.
I'm all in on Jorge. But until then, I'm picking him. But I'm gonna be that dude that picks an underdog on a podcast and doesn't bet him,
and then he wins.
'Cause that's how mookie I am in MMA right now.
All right, be mookie. This should be called the Mookie Podcast. I'm going to say Darren Till wins, too. I mean, I tend to agree that there's a huge size advantage here. Till has a pretty good chin, and he's going to be able to move and pick. And Masvidal, I agree, does his best when he has someone kind of gets in a firefight with him, and it can kind of fire off. Till's not really that. He's just not. And it's not going to be much of a ground fight. It's going to be on the feet, and I think Till's going to frustrate Masvidal and likely win a decision. Sad but true. This fight is made for Till to ultimately get the W. The price on Masvidal is just kind of appetizing because of who he is, but I don't see him getting it done, unfortunately. And I think that does it. Unless anyone has anything they'd like to go out with. Brett. Ooh, yeah?
Well, mine's just nothing fight related, but we have our the MMA Analysis
that's right.
Doing brackets again this year for the NCAA tournament. So $25 to get in. I think first is 60. I think we do 60, 30, 10, something like that. I think we usually get about 30, 40 people in it, so maybe get a few.
That's percentages, not dollars.
Not dollars.
For those of you that don't know how to do math.
Hopefully get a few more than that this year, a little bit more money in it, but you can go to the MMA Analysis Twitter handle, and all the info is on there in a tweet. So get in here, play some of these games.
I might even donate a couple bucks.
Yeah, I usually do.
$5. Fuck, man. That's like one half of a fucking DraftKings write-up packet.
My beer almost came out my nose.
Next week, Wes is going to be making his way down to Nashville to see Anthony Pettis just get wrecked by the Karate Kid.
I'm gonna be so drunk by the time that main event starts, I won't even notice that they're not doing anything. Be fucking staring at each other. Should be good times. Nashville's a cool town. Good times.
Happy Potato Day, everybody.